Well, it's always one of the highlights of the year for the Yorkshire supporters, that trip to North Marine Road, of course the seaside resort of Scarborough. And as usual, the spectators made their way into the ground with hopes of a decent day's play. Well, we had one or two problems for the first hour. The morning rain had caused a few difficulties, but eventually it ceased and we got underway at 12 noon, with Yorkshire deciding to bat after winning the toss. 8 overs lost to the weather, by the way. Now, in bright sunshine, Lees punched the 2 runs off Charles Morris in the opening over to get things moving, and the first boundary came as Rhodes flipped the ball down to fine leg. But he followed a delivery soon afterwards from Leach and was caught in the slips by Whiteley. Rhodes out for 9, Yorkshire 18 for 1. Leading started well with an early boundary off Morris, but then he was beaten by a beautiful swinging delivery, but didn't fall to it. Lees got a sketchy 4 through the slips off Leach, but then another wicket as Lees played a loose shot and was caught this time again by Whiteley off Leach for 12. Morris and Leach were causing the batsmen some problems with a few deliveries swinging, but Gale got moving with 3 runs, which was well fielded by D'Oliveira, saving a boundary. Yorkshire rolled their 50 up with both batsmen starting to settle. That was until Leach struck leaning on the pad and Jack was given out LBW for 17, Yorkshire 57 for the loss of 3 wickets. Johnny Bairstow got off the mark with a nudge towards third man. He then worked Chantry away for 3 runs through square leg, and he found the boundary of the same bowler as Yorkshire moved to 66 for the loss of 3 wickets, and he played a top-class off-drive to the ropes to continue his fine form. Gale was next to the boundary with a cut-off Leach to the cover area, and he also found the boundary off spinner D'Oliveira with a nice shot. Bairstow cracked another 4 as Yorkshire reached lunch at 85 for the loss of 3 wickets, 21 overs. Bairstow 20 and Gale 18. Johnny Bairstow, a man in form if ever there was one, opened up the afternoon session with a fine drive for 4 off Leach. Hit another 4 then and then figured an all-run 4 as he hit Leach through the covers. Gale cut Chantry away for 3 runs and Bairstow cut Leach through the slips for another boundary. Bairstow in tremendous form, and another 4 brought up the 50 partnership. Gale produced a flowing cover drive to the boundary off Leach, but it was the informed Bairstow who was now racing along with a series of attractive shots. A splendid knock with 10 fours and 48 balls for his 50. Gale continued to play his part with some good shots all round the wicket. Spin was introduced via Saeed Ajmal, and he was smashed away by Bairstow for a 4 to the boundary, the ball not really turning in this spell. Gale turned pace bowler Morris down to fine leg for another 4, bringing up the 100 partnership. For a time Yorkshire became becalmed, but Bairstow then beat the sweeper on the boundary and added another 4 to his total. Gale slapped Ajmal through the covers to go to a patient half-century with 6 fours, and at 184 for the loss of 3 wickets, Yorkshire were getting on top and runs were now coming again at a decent rate. Bairstow brought up the 200 and a batting bonus point with a 4, and then he hit another 4 to go to 94 and at the same time the 150 partnership. Third boundary in the over, and with a clip away for 2 runs, Bairstow reached a wonderful 100 with 16 fours. At tea, Yorkshire's session by a country mile. They're looking good. Bairstow 105, Gale 62. They've recovered from that poor start. 143 runs in the session, 228 for the loss of 3 wickets, 51 overs. Andrew Gale moved to 68 with a cut to the ropes soon after he resumed for the final session. Bairstow continued to strike the ball well, forcing Worcestershire on the defence. The pair brought up the 250 for a second batting bonus point. Considerable progress this for Yorkshire. The double century partnership came up as Bairstow produced a single off Ajmal. He then hit Chantry from mid-wicket for a boundary. Runs now coming frequently, with Gale becoming the epitome of concentration and patience. He cut Chantry to the boundary for his 9-4. Soon afterwards he was there. A fine 100, reaching the 3 figures with a clip to for the fine leg boundary. Brett D'Oliveira dropped a delivery short and Bairstow hit the first 6 of the innings to reach 139. The next delivery, a breakthrough, as Fell took the catch at backward point off D'Oliveira. Bairstow, as I say, out for 139, 18 fours and a 6, 311 for 4. And the partnership, by the way, another big one, worth 254. Adil Rashid joined Andrew Gale when he picked a gap in the offside for his first boundary, but then a little later he nicked a slip and he'd gone, caught off Ajmal, catch by Mitchell, the captain. Rashid out for 6. Tim Bresnam joined Gale. Leach came back into the attack and Gale played a beautiful cover drive. And then Bresnam was dropped and slipped by Whiteley off Morris. Morris having no luck throughout the day. The pair then brought up the 350 and a 4th bonus point. Close of play, another good day for the champions. 357 for 5, 88 overs. Bresnam 17 and Gale still there on 127.